Hi.
Hey.
Hi, guys. This is Lauren and Dawn tonight. Jill is a little bit busy. It's back to school time. We're going crazy over here. Welcome, everybody, back to Spill in the Teacups podcast. We're bringing you something special today. It's a mini episode on hurricanes and what to do with hurricanes when you're in Disney. Um, these mini-sodes are sparked from common questions that we get from friends and clients and
And it's hurricane
random
season right
people.
now
Yeah, and
in
Dawn
full
knows
swing.
well. Yeah. She lives in Florida, so she has like the you have those like shutters on your house and everything. So
Yeah.
you're prepared for this. And also, if anyone didn't know, Dawn and I lived through Hurricane Sandy in New Jersey. So and I got stuck in um I forget which one it was in Turks and Caicos and how to get like air vac out by the Canadians. They're so great. And we've been through a lot of hurricanes, so I think we're at this point we know what we're talking about. We
Oh,
can,
definitely.
yeah. So, um, Hurricane Idalia, is that how you say Idalia?
Yes, Idalia
Swept
just
through
came
Florida.
through. Yep.
Yeah, last week. I had a couple clients there that like wrote it out, and then one that changed her trip. So we have some interesting perspectives for what you can do when you have a trip and there's a hurricane coming, and then what to do in hurricane season just to prepare in general.
Yeah.
Um, so do you want to start us off, or do you want me
Yeah.
to?
So, I mean, I'm just going to talk a little bit. I want Lauren. I've never been to Disney during a hurricane. So I know you have been there. Was that a few years ago? You were
Mm.
there during a hurricane. So I don't know what it's really like there, but I was just going to talk about it, how it's like in Florida. So hurricane season starts June 1st all the way to November 30th. You really rarely, June and July, when you come to Florida, that's the rainy season. It's going to rain. Bring your ponchos, be ready for those afternoon showers. You don't really ever really see that many hurricanes happening. But the end of August, September, beginning of October, like that's when I feel like we see the most of them. So like last year we were here for Hurricane Ian, category 5. That one was really big. That's when we had the hurricane shutters up. That's when people lost power for days, for weeks. I work in Sarasota. If anyone doesn't know where I live right now, I live right below Tampa and Palmetto, but I work in Sarasota. So right below Sarasota is where Fort Myers, Northport. I have a lot of people that work down there. That's where it hit the most. So that was really crazy. And right now, I have to say too, for if you are planning a trip to come to Disney during these months, follow Dennis Phillips. He is one of the he's the weather forecaster here in Florida, and everybody follows him. And he always says, rule number 7, don't freak out until I freak out. So always follow him. He has an Instagram, he has a Facebook, and he posts every single day what's going on. Like right now, there's a lot of tropical depressions coming in. Like there's one right now that's out. I want to say it's in the middle of the Atlantic right now, but it's making its way here. And he's like, oh, I'm kind of getting a little bit nervous about this one. This one's gonna be a big one. This might be a category 5. So he's like, but don't freak out until I freak out. So I follow him and Mike's weather page. Those are the two main ones. If you're coming to Florida, I definitely recommend following them on Facebook and on Instagram. And they'll just keep you updated on what's going on. They post all day, every day. But with that, I have to say, I have heard a lot of good things about how Disney handles
Yeah,
hurricanes.
yeah, they do. So, well, one, after a hurricane is the best time to be in the park. I mean, it clears out, people get scared, they empty out, and the parks are completely empty. And usually it's a little bit cooler after a big rainstorm. So there's a couple puddles and stuff, but it's beautiful. The sun's shining, the parks are empty, there's no lines. I mean, ride it out and go if it's not dangerous. Um, so Disney's really accommodating when it comes to like rescheduling any kind of trip that you already have planned. As long as they have the availability in the rooms, they will reschedule you. Even if they don't have the availability at the resort that you're staying at, they might move you to a different resort, which, may be disappointing, may be a bonus. You never know. Um, they are super accommodating with making it work and making you feel safe and having the vacation that you want. I mean, you don't want to spend all this money and then go there and you miss out on a lot of trips, a lot of your of the trip because you can't go to the parks or whatnot. They do really cool things, like they bring characters into the resort lobbies, and so there's a lot of character interactions. They have games going on. If it's really really bad, they have generators and they have like bagged foods. They usually keep a food court open. um, I remember when we were there for Hurricane Maria, they we were on the boat going back to Wilderness Lodge, and there was a couple and her two kids on the boat with us, and they were like, we just live here in Orlando, but when there's hurricanes like this, we come and stay at Disney. It's the safest place to be. And they come and they bring their dog and they stay because, you know, the buildings are like fortresses. They have generators, they have food, they have water. It's not a bad idea during hurricane season or any time to just always get a bottle of water with, you know, Instacart or something, like a case of water, and keep it in your room for your trip, because it saves you money on waters in the parks, and then you have them at night and you don't have to just keep buying water bottles. But also, God forbid something happens and you're stuck in your room, at least you have waters with you. But again, they try to keep the quick service place options open for you, so that there's food and you can still do things. And it's a really, Jill had pointed out, she left us a couple notes, you know, things she knows from firsthand from working there, that they will, what did she point out? She pointed out that
They have like ride out crews, she said,
right
that are
after,
like
yeah,
designated to work through the storm.
yeah. And she said, please be nice to them because they work like really hefty and long hours, and it's really tough for them because they are there from until they can go home, which sometimes, you know, a storm lasts 2 or 3 days. So they're working long hours. She said, so just be nice to them.
I mean, be nice to everybody while you're there. I mean,
Yeah.
you can't predict the weather. You can't stop the weather. A hurricane's happening. I know you're probably going to be upset, like, oh, this is ruining my vacation, but Disney will do its best to still make it a magical moment. The hurricane's not going to last you the whole entire week, but yeah, I want to say 1, 2, max 3 days, it might be awful, but Disney's not going to lose power for weeks at a time. They're not going to lose AC. They're not, I feel like that couple that you said that you met, like, that's smart. You know what? I'm just going to leave my house in case I
Yeah.
lose power. I'll get a room at Disney and they'll take care of me, and we're not going to lose anything. So,
You know, and like the kids aren't going to be bored because there's a million things to do at the resort. And this is what you'll point out, it's a good time to explore your resort. Like if you have to stay in and the parks are closed, go use the arcade, go use the amenities, go check out the restaurants. You know, they're going to stay open unless it's really really bad. So as for the non-refundable tickets, like if you have tickets to Mickey's Not So Scary Halloween Party or the Christmas party or any of these special events, they will refund them in form of another ticket. So if you have tickets to the Halloween party and there's another one while you're there, they'll try to move you to that one. If they can't for some reason, they will give you a credit for a Christmas party or the Halloween party the following year. They're really good about moving it to another time, maybe not refunding it, but moving it to another time. And they're also really great about refunding, like, or like moving your trip. Like I said before, they can move your trip. So I just had a client that was going down and she was supposed to get in on Wednesday, and that's when the storm was supposed to hit, so they moved it to Thursday and Disney let them do it, and their room was actually a couple of dollars cheaper than the day before, which kind of worked out. And then I had another client that was there for the storm. They chose, the park stayed open. There was a lot of rain. There was some parts of the day that were not safe to be in the park. It was windy, but the park stayed open and there were people there. I mean, very little people there, but there were people there. So because the park was open, they wouldn't refund them for their ticket because they chose not to go. So if the parks stay open and you choose not to go, that ends up being on you. But
you made a really good point. Like, it is so nice that Disney, you don't have to have like pay the extra money just like to like the cancellation fees or anything. Like, you don't have to pay for the insurance, like, to move your date. Like, say you didn't pay for it, you could still, I've done that for many people where I'm like, that something happens, like, I just can't go, I still want to go to Disney, but I just can't go that weekend. It's very, very, very easy to move your trip to a different week, to a different month. And sometimes you will save money. They'll be like, hey, like, actually you get a credit back on your credit card because this week that you're changing to go is cheaper. Sometimes it's a little bit more, but it usually stays around the same. So that's like really nice and convenient to remember that if you want to reschedule, super easy to do. And we can do that for you.
And exactly. That's why you use a travel agent, because if you're doing this on your own on your computer, it's going to be a lot harder. You're going to sit on the phone and wait for a long time. We can get right through it.
Forever.
Yeah. Use us. It's so much easier.
We have the
And
magic line. They answer. I
yeah,
feel like I've never waited longer than like 2 minutes on that thing. And I'm like, this is
no,
amazing. I
never.
love it for myself.
Even during like Run Disney events when the lines are just jammed up, they always answer and they're pretty pleasant. And I've actually gotten the same people like numerous times in one day. And I'm like, oh my God, it's you again. And it's so funny. So they're all really, really nice. I mean, I love it. So use us because we can help you. The other thing I wanted to talk about was that if you decide, like I said, if you decide not to go and you want and you because you didn't feel safe, so like my clients didn't feel safe, they have little girls, it was too windy, they didn't feel safe, Disney will do certain things for you, like they wouldn't refund them for their ticket, but they gave them a little bit of a credit. And if you want, you're not happy with what Disney does for you, you're always welcome to write a letter to guest services and explain to them, what had happened, and they will help you out. Disney's really, really accommodating. You just have to tell them, to speak up. Don't wait until it's over. Speak up while you're there. Jill made a good point on things to pack if you're going during hurricane season, and that is a portable charger, water, and snacks for the room. My personal go-tos during actually any season in Disney, but also especially hurricane season, is a cover for your stroller. I had mentioned this during the stroller minisode to bring. They're really cheap on Amazon. They're like $12, and they come in every size. They're just a plastic cover for your stroller. Put that on it if you're in a stroller spot that doesn't have a cover and you're going in on a ride, because you might come out to like a 10-minute mini storm and everything you have is soaking wet. Put that cover on it and walk away. If the stroller area is covered, don't worry about it. But if you're parking in some of the places in Magic Kingdom where there's no cover, Epcot, bring that stroller cover, put it over your things. It will also deter people from like going through your things. Not that people really do that, but just in case. And it keeps everything dry. I always bring ponchos, like even
It's
on a
smart.
nice day. Yeah. Oh, they take up the tiniest bit of room. It's like having a piece of paper folded in your
Yeah,
bed.
but how about me and Lauren
Oh,
just went to Disney like last weekend, and she's like, "Can you put this poncho in your bag?" I'm like, "I ain't bringing this poncho." I checked the weather though; I knew it wasn't gonna rain.
yeah. I don't
I'm
have
like,
room
I'm not
for it.
putting that in there, even though it was so small. But
I had
it is
a
smart.
tiny, I had a tiny fanny pack and I was carrying around our shirts so we could take pictures in them. Our new shirts, go buy them. And I had like my phone in there. It was like jammed to the jam pack. And Dawn had a backpack. I'm like, can you bring this poncho? She's like, no.
It's not gonna rain, and it didn't rain.
And it didn't rain. She's right. So,
Yeah,
I would say don't avoid hurricane season in Disney. Sometimes it turns out to be more fun than, it's Florida. You're always going to have a rainstorm. I mean, you're always going to get a little bit of rain. So just expect it, prepare for it, and embrace it and enjoy the empty park.
yeah. I love like when we get up to go to Disney, because like me and my husband will do a lot of like one nighters. We're only an hour and a half from Orlando. And I love when it says it's about to rain. I'm like, oh, I love this because nobody goes. And it's
Right.
just like Florida, it's never like it rains all day. It's just like a passing in the middle of the afternoon passing thunderstorm. It's going to last 10, maybe max 20 minutes. And you just go inside and go to a restaurant during that time. I love when it says it's going to rain. Love it.
The time we were there, we were in Hollywood Studios. We were getting off the boat and it started pouring. So we just put on our ponchos and the stroller cover, and we ran in and we went into a shop because it got really heavy. The kids were like trudging through the rain. I'm like, okay, let's take a little breather. So we went into the store and we were in there and we heard this like loud lightning bang. I mean, it got pretty bad for all of 6 minutes. We did a little shopping. We came out and everyone was gone. The park was
Yeah.
empty and it was awesome. And the kids were dry because they had their ponchos. And I was like, I feel great. I mean, my skirt was a little bit wet, but that's what I get for wearing a skirt to Hollywood Studios. You know,
Yeah, I
it's
mean,
not.
and the kids love to play in the rain anyway. All the splash pads that Disney has, I feel like all these parents are just their kids are fully clothed, jumping around. They love it. So as
They're
long as it's not
hot. Let
thundering
them.
and lightning out, the kids are gonna love just like playing in the rain, and they'll be dry in
Yeah.
the next like hour because the sun is just so hot.
Yeah. Yeah. It's crazy. Dawn, do you have anything else to say about hurricanes?
Not off the top of my head, but like I said, definitely I would follow those two people on Facebook, Dennis
Yeah.
Phillips, and Mike the Weather Guy, because I just following them today. They post like crazy and they're hilarious. Dennis Phillips is hilarious. He has kids that are in college too, and they're like up north Florida. So he always talks about them and how his like their friends are like watching him on the news. But he was just posting, so it's Dennis Phillips, ABC Weather. That's him on Instagram, but he literally posts like all day, 3 hours ago, 1 day ago, 2 days ago, 4 days ago, and he just will update you. It's
Also,
awesome.
if you did book with a travel planner, we will, I mean, I don't know about every single one, but I do this. All of my clients that were there, I was sending them constant updates about, not like to scare them about the weather, but constant updates of what Disney was saying. So Disney's constantly in touch with us, sending us updates on, what they're going to do in preparation. They're keeping a close eye on the weather, and they let us know, and I let my clients know right away, just so that they have options. So that's just another perk to using a travel planner. But also WDWNT, Disney World News Today, they're also really great about sending complete, like, current to the moment updates of what's going on with park closures and stuff. So, whether it's a hurricane, a storm, any kind of inclement weather, they're like my go-to as far as Disney parks closures and stuff. If you don't want to go right to the website or whatever. So, but Dawn, can we talk about these candles?
Oh, yes, we need to talk about these candles.
And this isn't like they're not paying us. Like, this isn't a play. This is just us obsessed with this company. So obsessed with this company. I have my Port Orleans ones are in the mailbox. I just got the notification that they were delivered, and I'm about to run the half a mile away from my house to my mailbox to go get them in the pitch black and probably get attacked by a coyote, just so I can stick my nose in that delicious smell.
Yeah. So I have in front of me, because we wanted to talk about these Magic Candle Company. They're awesome. They're doing a discount for us right now. If you go on their website and at the end type Spillin 20, you will get
2020,
20% off.
Spillin 2020.
Spillin 2020.
Yeah.
Good job, Lauren. Thanks. But I got H2O sea salt. Smells
Hey,
just like it. Smells
me
just like the
too.
H2O that you get.
I know.
But
It's
my
amazing.
favorite so far, and I have it lit next to me, it's called Flying Over Fiji. That's the one. So if you ever go on soaring and at that part where you're flying over Fiji, they spray out smells while you're on soaring. So just in case you'd ever been on that ride before, it's one of my favorite rides. It takes you to all these places all over the world. And they usually try to pump in smells that will relate to that place in the world. So when you fly over Fiji, it has this beautiful tropical, like beachy smell. This candle smells exactly like you're on that ride.
It's
It's
I want
insane.
to know who made these up, because like it's insane how accurate they get it. Like, these people's noses have to be like bloodhounds. I mean, the fact that that smell, because when you're on soaring, you go through a couple of different smells at once. So
Yeah.
because you're flying over the world. So you're flying over different things. So the smells keep changing. For them to nail it like that with the second that you're
So
smelling
good.
it, I like this mine train one a lot. The ride ones are great. They're all great. I have Polynesian upstairs on the diffuser. Like I said, I'm going to grab the Port Orleans one. I went through the Wilderness Lodge one in like a day. I mean,
Yeah. I have the pirate one. I don't know if it's a good thing or a bad thing, but it smells like the
does it
ride.
does it smell like the ride?
It does.
I
It
really want to
does.
try.
But they're awesome. So they're all themed. They're all based off rides or like resorts. And I
Yeah.
have they come with room sprays too. Different size candles. We love them. And like Lauren said, we're not getting paid to say this. Like,
No, it's
we
like
love them. We use them. We buy them.
yeah, and we're probably the only ones that used our code so far. When you when you, when you get home from your trip and you're like, oh, I miss it. I miss it. This is the perfect way to just kind of relive it for a second, because smells trigger so many different emotions. I feel like they make me really happy. So anyway,
Yeah.
go buy them. Go buy them and go buy our shirts and spend money on us.
Yeah, check
Spoil
out our
us.
Etsy page. We just came out with our like new, it's like my favorite shirt. My favorite
I know.
shirt, favorite, perfect for Halloween. I'm obsessed with it. I wear it all the time. My
I
husband
truly
loves
love
it. He was wearing it. He's like, I love this shirt. It's so comfy. I'm like, yes.
I truly love this shirt. The pattern is really, really great. Our friend Morgan was wearing it today. She got it in the mail today and she was like, oh, I love it. Like it's a little Olaf with it. He lost his head. He's the headless snowman on Nook, Nook, Elsa's ice horse. And it's just really, really cute. And my mom drew it. So like,
Yeah,
come
your
on,
mom's
guys. My
amazing.
mom's amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah. So anyway, I think next week we voted and we're going to be doing Caribbean Beach, however you want to say it. I think that's what we're doing next week, right?
Yeah, that's one of my
So
favorites. It's one of my favorites because it's on the Skyliner. I love anything that can get me to Epcot the fastest, and the Skyliner is one of those
yeah,
transportations.
it's a great moderate resort. We have a lot to say about it. So we'll be back next week with that. And you guys tell your friends about us. Tell all your friends. If you can tell us where that came from, I'll like you even more.
But yes, give us a follow at Spillin the Teacups on Instagram, on Etsy, podcasts, anywhere that you listen to your podcasts. I know me, I'm a big Spotify person. That's where I listen to majority of my podcasts. But anywhere that you listen to them, please share. And we hope you have a great day and the rest of your week.
Thanks, guys. Bye.
Cheers.